name is Tia Brown. You may have already met me in another science gizmo, but today we're going to look at the interdependence of plants and animals. Do you have a green thumb? Your plants depend upon you to water and take care of them, but we also depend upon plants to breathe. In the Plants and Snails gizmo, you can study the production and use of gases by plants and animals. We now have an abundance of snails in our lab and need to keep them alive so that we'll have enough for our investigation. How do you think we can do that? Let's see what happens to our snails when we change the variables in our gizmo. Each of the test tubes contains water and a small amount of brothonyl blue, or BTB. BTB is a chemical indicator that will change to yellow or blue depending on the chemicals present. What color are our test tubes initially? Let's drag all of our snails to the first test tube and one Elodea sprig into the second test tube. Now, click play. What do you think will happen? What did you see color change-wise? Do you think we should add some Elodea sprigs to the test tube with our snails? Let's add some to our test tube. But before we can add the Elodea sprigs, we must first click the Reset button. We can then drag the Elodea sprigs to our test tube. How many should we add? I'm going to add just the one. What do you think will happen? Did the color of our test tube change? What role do you think the lights play with this experiment? We can turn them off by clicking the light switch and see what happens. Do you have a prediction? If we wanted to, we could measure the levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the test tube by clicking on the Show Oxygen and CO2 Values box. You can even drag the sign from test tube to test tube. Do you have a hypothesis you would like to test out and see if you can keep the snails alive?